All right, welcome to week 11. If you're watching this video, it's because you were gone on either one or multiple days for week 11 for English 11. This is the week before Thanksgiving break, and we don't have the whole week of Thanksgiving off, just 3 days at least, so the first 2 days you'll be in school. So this week we have a check-in form. We are going to read, and we should finish, or at least most of it, in class of chapter 15 on Monday or Tuesday, depending on what period you have me. We're going to continue our writer's workshop notes, but this time, instead of it being a lecture, it'll be expert station. So this is going to be more of an in-class activity, but you can still access all the notes online. If you have me on Wednesday this week, which would be B day, we're going to have our grammar lesson. So fourth period, you will get this later. So for now, just don't worry about it. We're going to do a really fun activity on Friday and Thursday called Crumple and Shoot. It's been a game that I've been preparing for quite a long time. It'll be a review game. And then we're going to start chapter 16 and first chapter Friday. Chapter 13 is going to be your job to read on your own. And if you need a physical printout, come to my room to grab one. So just a reminder, your inspiration interview essay is due on November 29th, which is a Monday, which is where you are picking somebody that you want to interview, somebody that inspires you, they're a role model in some way, and you're going to write an essay about them. Because this is going to be kind of a softball for us to practice with some of our essay writing skills that we've learned about before we get to the final project for this unit. So please make sure you remember that this is due Monday, November 29th. So you have a couple weeks before that is due. And then this is just kind of a roadmap to show you where we're headed in terms of the rest of this, not the school year, but just until Christmas break comes around. So this week we're reading chapter 15 and 16. We'll finish chapter 16 next week because it's a short week. Anything in yellow means it's a week that's not normal. This week is not normal because we have grade day on that Friday. So you have class 4 days a week that week. We'll read chapter 17, and then we're breaking up chapter 18 into 2 weeks because it is a big chapter. It's definitely the biggest. It's the last chapter, and it takes about an hour and a half to read. So we're going to break that up between those 2 weeks. So this is really important for you to fill in. This is a check-in survey. It's linked on the slides, but it's also on Canvas. This is going to be an opportunity for you to tell me how you are doing academically and personally. You know by now I really care about what you have to say in terms of your feedback. I want to know what I can do as a teacher to change the instruction to benefit you, because if something's not working, I need to know about it, and the only way I'll know about it is if you tell me. So this is an opportunity to do that, to let me know how you're doing, and to give me some ideas and suggestions. So please fill that out for me. So go ahead and read chapter 15. I know the title is very alarming, very weird, but I promise you it's fine. You'll find out why it's called Go Hitler once you read it. So take some time and start reading. Our first question is about this metaphor Trevor gives describing how McDonald's and America are similar. So I want you to read that section, read this quote, and tell me, what do you think Trevor is saying when he's talking about America, but through this metaphor of McDonald's, and why does he compare the two? The next question, he talks about the give a man or teach a man how to fish analogy. It's kind of a very old metaphor, and I want you to look at this quote and tell me, what do you think about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about his give a man a fishing rod add on to that metaphor? Okay, so this is the part where if you miss this day in person, you can't necessarily participate in this, but you do need to look over the notes. So the notes for the rest of the writers' workshops are available on Canvas, so take a look at those and then fill in, just at least from your looking, top 3 things that kind of stood out to you about those notes that we looked at. Okay, so the second half of chapter 15, Trevor's talking about why his friend was named Hitler and how there are differences in what is taught around the world, or what is kind of highlighted. And so we need to read this to understand why is his name, what it is, and what does that mean. So go ahead and read that part and answer this question for me. Okay, and then you will end chapter 15 by learning about how there was a very big misunderstanding and issue that happened when Trevor and his DJ crew got booked to do an event at a Jewish school, and obviously they brought his friend named Hitler, and you can already assume that it did not go well. So I want you to read that and then tell me what you thought and answer this question. Okay, so this is our grammar lesson. We're going to learn about misplaced modifiers. So you're going to watch this video and tell me, what does a modifier do, what is a dangling modifier, and what's a squinting modifier. Okay, so after watching that video, you learned that modifiers are things that add more information about other parts of a sentence. So it could be words, phrases, or a clause. The problem can be that sometimes the modifier is not clearly linked to what part of the sentence they're trying to modify, and so it can create some unintentional ambiguity, meaning just some confusion. So the thief robs town with world's largest chocolate bunny. This is a misplaced modifier because we don't know, is he robbing a town with the largest chocolate bunny, or this town just happens to have a really large chocolate bunny and he robbed the town, but not the bunny itself. So when you clarify or you change the modifier, it makes it much easier to understand what you're trying to say. So a dangling modifier means that there's a modifier present, but it's not actually linked to anything specific. So it's just kind of there hanging out, and it needs to be something that's specific. A modifier that's caught between two things and could be linked to either one is known as a squinting modifier. So it kind of could go either way. Squinting modifiers are often adverbs, like this one, rapidly. So how do you fix that? One of two things. You either put the modifier closer to the part that's meant to be linked to, the part that it's meant to modify, or you change the sentence entirely. You reword it and you structure it differently. So that was the grammar lesson this week. Now we're going to read chapter 16, so go ahead and get started on that. It's called The Cheese Boys. So Trevor in this chapter is talking about his experience in the Hood, which is the city of Alex, and how right after high school, him and his friend Bongani were selling pirated CDs. They were basically running a pawn shop almost, and he describes the Hood in detail. So I want you to go back over that section and just bullet point list. What does he say about this area? How does he describe it? And give me some details. Okay, so this activity we are doing in class. So unfortunately, I won't go through it because it's definitely something that is in class. It's a really fun review game. But there are questions that you will answer together in teams, and it's a lot of fun, but we can't do it over online by yourself. So the last thing is First Chapter Friday. This week we have The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. It's a really great realistic fiction novel, and they turned it into a movie recently, so you're going to take a look at the movie trailer. So that is everything for English 11 for week 11. If you have questions, let me know.